And we are live. Hello, and welcome to Developer Insights. I'm David.
And I'm Justin.
And together we are the leads on game development and design here at
Design,
Codename.
yes.
Yep, that's what we do.
Yes. We also founded Codename too.
That's true. And we're going to be your hosts for this episode and for every episode.
Because when we're not here, the show doesn't happen.
Yep, that is true and likely to remain to be true and will be true sometime in the future.
Yes. Today is our 180th episode.
That's true. We're now only 20 away from 200. 10% to go.
Actually, it's 11%.
No. 20 is 10% of 200.
Well, yeah, but 20 is 11.1% of 180, so it's 11% more episodes to go.
10%.
11%.
10%.
11%.
Duck season.
Wabbit season.
Duck season.
Wabbit season.
Okay. I don't know what you wrote here. I know that it's 11%. Why would you make me argue on that side of it?
Because you have to have a foe.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, today we are here to answer development and design questions about Idle Champions.
That's true. And if you don't ask any questions, however, you may have to suffer through Justin's one-man reenactment of David's 7th birthday party. What?
Yeah, your 7th birthday party. I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, a bunch of yesterdays ago.
Yeah? You remember it? What was the theme?
7?
No. The theme was broccoli.
Was it broccoli?
Yeah, I think so.
It was broccoli.
Yeah.
Love broccoli.
Anyway, as always, we have pulled forward some questions from the previous shows that we didn't get to, and so we will answer some of those while we are waiting for new questions to come in. But before we get to those, I do have some, it says I have updates. Do I have updates? I have some small updates for items that have been flagged to be looked at by the dev team. So without any further stalling for time, I don't think we stalled for enough time, Justin.
Yeah.
We're going to get started with those.
Excellent.
Okay, move over to this doc. Yeah, so as far as items that are in progress, we do have some fixes in progress for the performance issues on the Xbox build. I think we mentioned before that we were looking at upgrading the SDK on that because we were using the one from 2018.
17.
Unity 2017, 2018 version of the SDK.
Okay.
At any rate, we are now running the build through 2022 for Unity and 2025 for the SDK, and actually upgrading it to that just solved all the problems. So that was great.
Now we just have to figure out how to make a build and submit it to Microsoft using that.
Yes, there are some changes there. It will likely have to go through a full recert. There are some changes related to how player input is handled that changed from 2017 to 2022, how user logins are handled. So Nick is working through those, and once those are done, we'll get that out on the Xbox platform. And the difference is night and day in terms of the performance from the build that was out to the new one. So if you're on Xbox and you've been waiting for that performance improvement, it is coming. It is going to be a significant improvement. So
You heard it here, folks. He guarantees it. If it's not, I don't know what we do.
When Nick was testing it, I could see it was holding like 60 FPS on the dev build on the Xbox dev kit. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get all the I's dotted and T's crossed on that and get a build out soon.
Yes.
It might not necessarily be the next build, depending on how long it takes. We do still have the old build environment that we are using for mission critical things like champion updates and content updates. But as soon as we can, we'll get that one out.
Yeah. Like I say, it probably has to go through a more rigorous cert process because it's a large upgrade, and that might delay that particular release. That's on Xbox's side.
Yeah. We haven't done cert, like a full cert build through Xbox in
since 2018.
7 years, yeah. Oh boy, that'll be fun.
The other, weak stretch stream reached. The other item that I've got here is the condensed loot view. That is something that was being worked on by one of the students who is now switched over. We have new students now.
Oh, switched over? Is that the euphemism we're using?
They didn't die, despite what people were saying.
They've been switched.
And despite on the website showing little tombstones, they went back to school.
It's like one of those reusable, like a battery, like swapped out the battery, and like just sort of picked up a co-op student, tossed them out, picked a new one up, slotted them right back into the seat.
Yeah, you have to put the feet in with the spring side down, because otherwise you get the wrong polarity.
Yeah, no, you want the positive side at the top and the negative side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I made that mistake once. Don't do it again. Yeah. Anyway,
co-op students or with batteries?
both. At any rate, one of the features that was being worked on and that was completed just at the end there is a condensed version of the loot screen. That is something for when you do a mass chest opening. We took what was there and made a much, much more, condensed version of that, so you can see a lot more data all at once. And so that is in final review, and hopefully that will also be going out in the next build. Maybe, fingers crossed on that one. But it has been through a few phases of review already, so I think it's at the point where it's ready for final review. All right, next question? No, next section. This is leftover questions from the prior show, so questions from last week. First question from last week that's left over is from Solid Oxide, asking, will the Wild Offer core ever make it to the weekly offers?
Very good question. So there's a couple of cores, I think, in Wild Offers. There's the Erois core. Is there any other one in there? I'm trying to think if we released one. No, I think in the seasons we released it somewhere else. So yeah, I mean, there's at least one core in there. And the question of will it make it into weekly offers? I think the intention was to have it in weekly offers at some point. We currently just don't have a sort of back-end or front-end support for that, so it's not quite as easy as just slotting it in or turning it on or anything like that. But it was on a list somewhere to put it in there. Not on a high priority list, unfortunately, or else it would have probably already been done. But it is on a list somewhere. And if more and more people keep asking for it in weekly offers, it will probably rise in the priority there. So keep on asking, and that will help it move up the priority list and bring it to our attention kind of over and over. The next question here is from Averlily, who asked last week, any chance of a dark mode on backgrounds? The game already has a dim filter, i.e. the filter that happens when the offline progress is shown when switching parties or with familiar placing mode. Would love a toggle to make that permanent. Looking at you, Everlasting Rhyme, which is
that a
snow-based background area.
Yeah, probably not something that we would prioritize. I guess the dim mode, the dim filter, the screen that pops up over top to show you that something is loading is not intended to cover up everything as just a filter. I mean, this is one of those things that certainly if we got a lot of requests for it, we could consider it, but I think it's sort of a pretty edge case usage on this one, so probably not something that we would prioritize doing. It's kind of a really edge case item. Yeah,
the snow backgrounds are a little bit annoying, and I think we did try to reduce a bit of the kind of bloom and stuff that we were seeing on those. But it's just, I mean, it's a white background, it's snow. It's blinding. It's kind of the nature of the beast.
Yeah, it seems like a better solution would be to change, make the snow backgrounds a little bluer or something.
Yeah.
But because certainly it's not something that commonly you need. It's just going to be on those really bright backgrounds. Yeah.
We need one of those like blue light filters that you have in like your phone, so when you're like using it before you go to bed,
it turns to like a warm filter, so everything turns yellow.
Yeah. People might have a different idea about what's going on with the snow, but yeah.
Those blue light glasses. All right. Next question. This is from Garwar asking, any ETA on fix for time gates being blocked for event champions when there's now no way to get all of them in a single event? Needs a confirmed override to unlock champs.
Yeah, time gates are one of those things that kind of, definitely their usefulness changed when we rolled out Events 2.0, which was more than a year ago at this point. And they've always been something that I think we need to come back to and sort of reevaluate what they're used for and how useful they are. They're kind of one of those systems that just needs, a complete kind of
3.0 win.
Yeah, a 3.0 kind of system. So I don't think we're looking to make any kind of changes to them. The concerns I have with kind of removing the the blackout dates for champions in the event is that it could lead to kind of confusing things like you unlock a champion through the event, you flex a champion through the event, then you go and unlock them through the time gate, then you come back and you still have to do their unlock adventure because those things aren't really linked in a nice way. and kind of vice versa. There's just a bunch of ways that they kind of nombo with each other that I wouldn't want to expose naturally. So for now, I think we're going to leave the blackout times in place. Yeah, I mean, if somebody needs to be unlocking, 12 champions during an event, or all 12 champions of the event, then, there are certainly opportunities to do that as soon as the event ends or before it begins or things like that. So I think it's a bit of an edge case. Not really worth spending too much time on until we can spend the time on doing a full kind of rework of time gates.
All right. I'm going to ask a silly question because you've used that twice now. What does nombo mean? What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
A nombo is like a combo, but not a combo.
Oh,
it's
Google slang here says it means something different.
It's like an anti-synergy.
Ah.
So it's like if you got some champions.
Oh, it's a bad combo.
Yeah.
A nombo. I see.
It's like having a tanking champion who gets weaker the more monsters are hitting them, right? Which, have we done that before? Probably. Yeah, Lazaps, the old Lazaps build. The more monsters that attacked Lazaps, the worse he got at tanking, which was a nombo, because a tank should get better when you're tanking.
You see, these other sites say it stands for not mine like bottom object, whatever that is.
All right, well, stop reading that AI slop.
No, this is not an AI site. This is the free dictionary by Farlex.
Exactly, yeah.
And this one's from the Wisdom Library.
Okay, well, those both sound very reputable.
Acronymfinder.com. Acronyms and slang. They all say it says that. You have to go way down the list before you get to this non-combo thing.
Yeah, anyway,
all right.
It's a non-combo. It's anti-synergy. And we use it in design to basically describe situations where someone or something is doing something that is not aligned with their sort of basic role or the meta that we intend them for. So yeah, Lazaps is a really good example of that. Any champion that scales up in damage as they get kills is another kind of nombo, because you run into situations where as soon as they can't get kills anymore, they no longer scale up in damage. So any time where they can scale up in damage, they're already getting kills, so the scale up in damage doesn't really help. So yeah, stuff like that. There's a lot of nombos in the earlier design of Idle Champions until we kind of wrapped our heads around what actually makes sense for the game, and occasionally one will slip through in newer designs, but for the most part, we've gotten a little bit better at messing around with or not getting caught up in the nombos.
I prefer this definition that nombo is when you can consume foods that are complementary to each other. A nombo.
Anywho, let's move on to the last
peanut butter and jelly.
Let's move on to the last question.
Sure. Last question left over from last week is from Ravenous Bebot asking, how about an older champions core, a sort of anti-Elminster qualification to automatically mitigate power creep?
That's an interesting idea of sort of how can we manage older champions that maybe aren't keeping up with newer champions. I do think it's a bit of a dangerous one because of the fact that we do reworks. And we would run into situations where we've done a rework on an older champion and they've gotten a bunch of power, and then this older champions core would potentially, not, would buff them in a way that just gave them more power than they need.
The get off my lawn core?
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting, if you base it off of rework date, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. It's an interesting idea, but I think it's got a couple of those nombos in there already. But yeah, I think one of the ways we try and mitigate power creep is by doing the reworks, right? We go back and we look at champions that have a much simpler ability set or a much smaller kind of buff cap, and we say, hey, how can we make this champion more competitive with the modern meta? And that's kind of how we manage power creep, except for core and evergreen champions, who never get to catch up, or them.
Yeah, or us. No reworks for us.
Well, I mean, we do touch evergreen champions kind of with champions like Sergeant Nox, who buffs Celeste and Makos. So there are ways to get around that kind of limitation that we've set on ourselves. But yeah.
All right.
L monster.
Moving on. Next. Nope. First question from the new questions from today is from The Clues. Question, Justin, it's nice to see you temporarily released from solitary confinement for Dev Insights. Yeah, so much work to clean them up to get them out here. Did you have time to make any prison wine, or has it all been focused on Trials/Forge rework?
So I haven't yet been sent into solitary confinement for that.
That's next week.
Next week. Yeah, next week you'll find me here on Thursday in the middle of my 2 days. But yeah, we've actually set aside, we're like, enough is enough. This just isn't going to happen unless we really focus a bunch of time on it. So next week we've set aside 2 full days.
That's
for
right.
me to work
Not one
on
full day,
but
full
2
full days.
Because I think it'll take roughly 2 full days to kind of finish up the Trials rework, redesign, and get that in front of all the stakeholders here, and hopefully get a consensus on it, and then we can start working on it. And yeah, hopefully everyone likes what I come up with. I've got some ideas. I got to write them down and get them kind of finalized.
Yeah. And don't drink the prison wine before you finish the design. I think that would be detrimental
since I
to
don't have
the
any
design.
meetings, I will be pleasantly buzzed for the entirety of that design session.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be great.
Okay. This bodes poorly for the design.
Fine, yeah. I'll hit the Balmer peak.
Is this hard enough? No. Okay, next question. This one is from Foolish Genius 89, asking, does Kazran's ability consider 10, 100, and 1,000 to be orders of magnitude? She does not seem to have scaled yet, and I don't see in the description where the order of magnitude buff is written. Is the ability working?
That is a good question. I think it is. Because
it's supposed to be.
We
QA'd it.
We would have tested it. Nathaniel would have run through it. And Mars also did power testing on it. But if there's like an ability with the description, so it's not clear about how that's working, then I will take a look at that and see if we can get that cleared up. Yeah, so I will highlight that in the old yellow color, which means that we are going to review that the next time we do a Dev Insights debrief, which will definitely happen soon.
Which is different from the old yeller color, which means you're going to take it out back and.
Yes, yeah. No, I made it yellow, not yeller,
right,
so it's all good. I will review that.
Perfect. Okay. Go
Next
ahead. You want to read this?
Fewer Pills, who asked.
It's not fewer pills. It's fewer pills. Come on, get it
I know,
right.
but we've got the joke going for. This is just someone who is really against the modern medication society where everyone is just
fewer
popping pills all the time.
No, I agree.
That's my headcanon, at least, for fewer pills. Anyway, they say, I know this is extreme nitpicking, but can we get an option to have the daily rewards pop up instantly every day? Originally, it used to, I love that they're asking for more pop-ups. Originally, it used to be 2 clicks, claiming and closing the window, and now it's turned into click active tasks, click daily rewards, claim rewards, close active tasks. This is such an unnecessary extra step and 3 more clicks for anyone that doesn't have anything interesting in the active task window.
Hold on. Hold up. Doesn't it pop up? Didn't we put that in? Did we take it away and then not give it back? Has it not been given back yet? Is that what's happened?
I don't think it's been given back yet. Not asking these questions so you can make them all satisfied by saying, yes,
yes.
we have a fix for this.
No, we will consider it.
Okay. We'll think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that is fixed in. Somebody just needs to make a build.
I did builds last weekend, so when did it get in?
All right, we'll have to ask Alex.
We'll
I'm pretty sure there's
that.
supposed to be a checkbox
yes.
there now that says, watch it be on his working branch. We just haven't merged it in. That's what's going on.
Probably not.
Yeah,
it's probably on his working branch.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well,
we'll get that for you in the next build. We've heard that feedback loud and clear since we started taking notifications away and pop-ups away, and we will put that back.
That's right. Okay.
Or we'll put the option for it back. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Next question, also from Fewer Pills. The champion search has an option to check undead as a species, which makes sense for Desmond and Cass, but the list there is currently, let's just call it incomplete. So far, it only lists champs with undead feats and Cass, missing BBEG for Anika, Blushi, Spurt, Astarion, and maybe others I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So those champions don't have the undead for some of those champions, at least. I know like Blushi, Spurt, Voronika don't have. BBEG should have the undead tag just out of the gate, and Astarion as well. But yeah, Voronika, Blushi, and Spurt don't necessarily have the undead tag until you, like for Voronika, I think you get it when you complete her kind of quest. And Blushi, you get it out of the gate. Does Voronika have it out of the gate? Okay, people in chat are saying she does, but Blushi and Spurt, at least I know, they only get it when they die. Spurt, obviously, when you sacrifice him with his ultimate, and Blushi when she actually dies. And so it's tough for the champion search to kind of find those because it's just looking at kind of the base deaths, I think. You might actually find them while they're actually dead.
Yeah, it might pull from like
sure
the
if it
active
pulls
hero
from
list, I think.
Yeah, but it's we don't want to necessarily give them the undead tag out of the gate because then you have unintended consequences where they they interact weird with costs even though they're not actually dead at that point. So it's a bit of a weird one, sort of how the undead stuff works there. It's one of those features that we added it in later on, and now every time we do a champion that is kind of undead, we have to go back and make sure they work properly with other abilities.
What do you mean,
whatnot.
kind of undead?
Kind of undead?
Yeah.
Like
what's kind of undead?
some of our champions are kind of undead. Like Blushi is like they're undead, and then they come back to life when you go to the next area. And Spurt, dies, and then as soon as the ultimate cooldown is almost up, they just pop back to life. So like they're dead, but they're kind of undead.
Okay.
I don't know.
Kind of. Got it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
They're all popping up, and they're like, I'm not dead yet.
You will be.
I'm feeling much better. Yeah. So I agree that is not ideal, and it really does it needs to be able to support kind of what you think it needs to be able to support, because I agree it should do that. But it is more challenging from a tech side to get them to show up there in cases where their undead status is transient, I shall say.
Mostly dead. Well, that's just a Princess Bride reference.
I feel like Voronika gains her undead status through like a passive ability as well. So maybe these guys are gaining it. It's like there's base tags that a champion has, and then passive abilities could grant a tag. And so maybe the way that they've been set up is
the ability they get at like level 1.
Yeah, or level 0 technically for passives. And so maybe it's just not counted in the champion search check there, even though if it's a passive, it could just be included in their base tags. I'll have to look at that.
Who designed this?
Me.
All right, it's your fault then.
But I didn't implement it.
Okie dokie. Next question. This one is from OG17 asking, are you happy with Vlithrin's power level?
That is a good question. I don't have an answer for this off the top of my head. I haven't been using Vlithrin in my own formation, so I'm not sure where she's at. So I don't know. And I also don't know why I highlighted this if I don't have a satisfying answer for it. I do know that all of our champions go through power testing, and so there's generally a baseline that we're aiming for, where any new champion, we don't want them to be worse than every old champion. We never want to release the new worst champion ever. We also never really want to release the new best champion ever. We want all our champions to be sort of somewhere in between there. And so, if she is overperforming or underperforming, then that's something we generally look at when we get to rework time. And if she's overperforming, then everyone will be using her, and we won't want to rework her. So
we'll have to rework someone else to be better. It's a long-term power creep.
Sounds like Vlithrin is quite powerful, based off of what I'm seeing in.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Now, they go through extensive power testing, but what about durability testing? Like we run them for 1,000 hours, and we don't
do that. Yeah.
No.
It takes so long.
Oh.
Even at 10 times speed, that would still take 100 hours.
100 hours isn't that long.
It is a lot. It's like it's a decent amount of time between events. That means we're like,
They're not like work hours. If they're
like
just like
40
durability,
hours
just run them. It's only like, 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is for
That's
you,
not a
Dave.
question.
It's a very important question that I think, seeing as it's your birthday, it's a nice question to have. This question is from DeathCloud420, who says, question. Thanks for having an awesome team and an equally awesome community. How good do you both feel being so awesome 100% of the time? How does it feel to be
It's just the status quo, Justin. I can't tell the difference anymore.
So you've grown immune to the feeling of being awesome.
You just get used to it, and then you need more, and it's like,
wow.
It adds on and on. And this is how it's a downward spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a very nice thing to say. Thank you very much, DeathCloud420. We also think that we have an awesome team and an equally awesome community, and we are happy that there are other people that think that as well.
Agreed. All right. Next question. This one is from Orden King's Shield, or Orden King Shield. Baldric gets a lot of talk on the Discord around his gem spec. It seems questionably useful. What do you guys think about how well that spec performs? And if you aren't happy, are there plans to do anything about it?
Yeah, so so there's a couple of things here. First off, I will admit that when we first released Baldric, the gem spec was broken. It wasn't actually awarding extra or giving a 10% chance for double gems like it was supposed to be. There was a misunderstanding on how that was to be implemented on the back end, and there was a miss in the testing for that. Mars didn't do any power testing on the gem spec, but during the regular.
Did you multiply it by 0 and they got no gems during that time?
Nope.
Oh,
nope, that was later.
Okay.
That was once we discovered that it was not implemented properly, and we wrote some code to implement it properly on the back end, and then that code was not written properly. So there was a brief period of time where it went from giving you no extra gems to just giving you no gems. But it would only give you no gems if you had Baldric in the formation but didn't have the gem thing picked. So there was some, let's just say, this is a long-winded way of saying there was a rocky kind of rollout for that ability to begin with, and a lot of the analysis, I think, was done on it when it wasn't working. Or a lot of people were kind of playing with it while it wasn't working. So it is now working, so that's good. And as far as how it's performing, I think it's one of those things where we're at the point with gem farming stuff and gem farming increases that we're looking for kind of novel ways to do things. It is obviously very possible to farm a lot of gems in the game right now. I've seen some of the gems per hour numbers that have boggled my mind a little bit. And so we're looking for kind of new ways to allow for an increase there, but make the puzzle a little bit harder. And so Baldric was an attempt to be like, yes, you can have more gems. You can have 10% more gems or whatever, but you need to load up your formation with a couple more speed champions that'll knock down the quest progress required to change from area to area or whatever. I don't think there are any plans right now to do anything about that. I think we're going to kind of wait and see what happens. But I would expect that if we do more champions that have sort of gem farming buffs in the future, that they would come with a similar kind of push and pull. Just because I think the numbers that people are seeing now are pretty huge, and I don't think we want to go down the road of doing like another Eliwick that provides for a 5 or 6 times bonus to your gem progress. I think we want to do sort of smaller increments with an additional puzzle piece.
Yeah. You know what I don't like about Baldric?
No, what is it that you don't like about Baldric?
The name is misleading.
You think he's bald?
No, he has hair.
Yeah.
I think we need to do a skin for him that like corrects this.
Capital B-A-L-D.
Yeah, Baldric. It'll be a super easy skin. We just make him bald.
Exact same skin, but he's just bald.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would pay good money for that skin.
Would you?
Yeah, just to fix the name, because it's...
Okay.
You just call him Rick.
There you go.
There we go. All right. What's next? That looks like
Oh my, look at
a
that.
giveaway.
It's time for a giveaway. Yeah, it's time for our world famous, stream famous at least, 42 gold chest giveaway. So the way this works, if you haven't been in our chat before, first off, welcome. Welcome to our stream. I have too many chests.
That's true.
And I need to get rid of some of my chests. So I'm going to give away 42 of my gold chests.
Just the
Now,
gold ones?
Well, just the golden ones. So it can actually be any type of chest in the game. The gold version of that type of chest. So it could be gold, gold baldric chests. You could have gold Wolfgar chests, gold Zaps chests, any type of champion gold chest. You could also have a gold weekend promo chest. There's a couple of weekend promo chests that got
true.
like 5 champions in them. You could get some of those chests. You get some Modron component chests. There's all sorts of different chests you could get. But yeah, I've got too many of them, and so all you have to do to enter that is copy and paste the keyword that everyone is spamming in chat right now into chat. That will enter you into the draw, and if you win, you get to pick the type of chest you get, and I won't send them to you. Somebody will take them off my account and give them to you, and hopefully I don't run out of the one that you're looking for. But yeah, what are some other types of chests
I mean,
that people
I
could look for?
don't mind getting a birthday chest. That's a
birthday
nice chest.
You can actually get those right now if you log
Or
in. The anniversary banner at the top.
Or a floating chest. Those are good. They're easy to carry.
Floating chest, okay. Yeah.
Or potentially like a palm chest.
Types of cakes.
Yeah.
That little bit, I think,
And
if
the
that were
floating
the
cake,
one, I
yeah.
think you started a little bit. It usually starts a little bit more vague.
What about a taper chest? A nice taper chest is
A nice tapered chest,
yeah.
Like it gets bigger towards the bottom or the top.
One or the other, yeah.
Yeah.
Or perhaps a pillar chest. A pillar chest is
There we go.
types of candles. We didn't even get to the flameless chest.
There's a flameless chest?
Yeah. Or a beeswax chest.
Wait, there's a chest that's on fire?
Yeah.
Flame full chest?
Yeah, it's when you open it up, it's full of flames.
Ah, I don't want to open that.
Green flames, actually.
How does that work? Because when it's closed, you think it'd be getting less oxygen. So like the fire should go out. And then you open it up and maybe there's like a pilot light or something down in there, and then you open it up and it gets a bunch of oxygen and it goes.
It's magical fire.
Oh yeah, magic. I forgot about magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just a propane tank at the back. Okay.
I thought you said a taper chest, like the little animal with the snout that eats ants. Is that right? Those things eat ants, right?
Cute little baby taper. Green flame.
What are they? What do tapers eat? Oh, leaves, twigs, glass. Oh, okay, maybe they don't eat ants. Yeah, no. They're vegetarians. How about that? Okay. Today you learned.
Yep. Okay.
What are we at? Question doc. Here we go.
Yep. You don't like this question about the list of lists?
You can ask about my list of lists if you want. I don't know.
Question. In
We
case we
haven't
run
run
out
out
of
of
questions,
questions
do you have a list of lists? If yes, can you list us that list of lists, or at least give us a gist of what's on the list of lists?
Good question, Fear Pills. Yes, I have many lists. I have 4 lists. I have my ASAP list, which is the things I need to get done as soon as possible. That's what ASAP stands for.
Yeah.
I've got my high priority list of items that I'm never going to get to. And then I've got my medium and low priority lists of items I'm really never going to get to. So yeah, those are my 4 lists. 3 of them are somewhat superfluous at this point. If you end up on my low priority list,
Well,
it's going to be a long time.
that's the gist of the list.
There you go. That's my list gist.
Yep. Next question, which I think is probably a more serious question. This one is from Rough Rider 1995 asking, can we have an option to time gate current event champions once we have flexed our final champ or not blocked them at all? Or not blocked them at all? This is sort of a similar question to earlier.
So we touched earlier on the time gate thing. I think this is an interesting kind of halfway kind of fix, or potentially this kind of thing could
Once
be
you're out
part
of slots.
this thing could be part of the time gates 3.0 fix. The only kind of initial thing I see is what do we call flexing our final champ? So if you haven't bought any event DLC or event chests during it, then you don't have the supporter slot, which means we could have 5 champions in the event, 2 of the sort of highlighted ones and 3 flexed ones, and then you would be out of slots. But then if you were to buy some DLC, you'd gain an additional flex slot. And so do we unlock it when you get to that 5th one or the 6th one? If we unlock it at the 5th one, then we still have the same sort of problems with potential nombos, with running a time gate at the same time as an event for the event champion with the 6th slot. So it's a little bit awkward. I don't think it's a perfectly clean solution, but it's an interesting idea. And a lot of ideas just in design, when we're kind of doing design, Pete and I like to just throw bad ideas back and forth at each other, because oftentimes the good idea is, the genesis of a good idea is a bad idea. We have lots of champion designs that have come out of, I don't think this is a good idea, but I'm going to say it out loud, and then something, and then we'll be like, yeah, well, how about not quite that, but like if we take sort of an idea from that and apply it to a different thing. So I think it's an interesting suggestion. I think it's one of those ones that can kind of cause a better idea to appear.
Okay. This next question is from Gortus, who would like to know, with the Trials redesign pushed even further down the road, Justin, can we get the favor cost of legendary levels removed?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the possibility of doing this as a kind of temporary measure, because I think moving forward, the cost will not be part of the legendary level up stuff after the legendary rework. It's just a question of whether the time required to do this is worth it. There's also some like secondary stuff that's really silly around like the Laura leaps and stuff like that we need to address. But we already have an idea of how to do that with feats on Thalora, and basically having some feats that are like +1, +2, so you can kind of get her into the sweet spot that you're looking for. So this is a maybe, but I will have to think about it, because there are some other implications as well.
All right. Next question. This one is from Shivek74 asking, when the Idle Champion movie is made, who...
I like the when, not the if.
Yes. Who are the actors you would like to see in it?
That's a good question. I mean, do you think... I think I really enjoyed the Dungeons and Dragons movie, personally. I found it to be very entertaining.
It was?
And definitely felt like I was watching the theatrical reinterpretation of somebody's tabletop game. Lots of ones rolled in that game, or in that movie. So I mean, I would love to see like I would like
Chris
to do. I'd like to see them do the Dungeons and Dragons like a sequel to that, but like in the Idle Champions world, like pull in some, some C&E originals and just go nuts.
I'm just thinking. One of my favorite moments in that whole movie is when the paladin walks over the rock.
Yes.
It's just like, nope.
I'd heard, I don't know if this is true, I'd heard that was unscripted.
That
the director just set him to walk off into the sunset, and then he didn't hear anyone yell cut, and so he just kept walking directly over the rock. That was hilarious.
That was good.
Yeah.
At first, I misread this question, and I thought it was asking when the Developer Insights movie is made, and so I was like, what actors would we put for us?
What do you think?
Well,
Jonathan Frakes,
no.
For you, obviously.
Sure. I think we could pair it up like Fight Club, Edward Norton and Brad Pitt.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one am
I? Which one do you think you look more like?
Brad Pitt, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or we could do Tarantino and George Clooney, like from Dusk Till Dawn. You have to be Tarantino. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to be Tarantino. No, thank you.
I think you look more like Tarantino. Yeah.
Vetoed.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we're not making a Deviant Sites movie, so you're off the hook.
The lurking writer says, now we need to see if David can perform the Riker maneuver. Can you get into a chair by walking over the back of it?
Probably not this chair. I think
No, that's a pretty high chair.
Yeah.
You need one of those TNG, like the lower
We
chairs.
got some of those around here, right? Those the gray ones? Not easily.
No, yeah,
I'm
not
gonna grab
in here.
one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll save that for Extra Life. Dave performing the Riker maneuver.
It can't be that hard. Next question. This one is from Goku Tall Ohanza. Yep, that's how we say that. I know that the pre-stack equipment is important, but is there a way to tell whether or not an item is pre-stack or not that I'm missing? I don't see any kind of indication on pieces as far as I've seen. Am I missing something obvious?
Yeah, there is not a good indication of whether or not an item is pre-stack. I would say the closest that we have that's kind of an indication that something is almost certainly pre-stack is if it buffs an ability and the base epic buff is 100%. Because generally what we'll do is like post-stack stuff, the epic item will scale to like 260 or 270% bonus. But for pre-stack ones, we scale that to 100% because just by the nature of being pre-stack, 100% bonus is already quite a bit bigger than the 270, depending on how many kind of stacks the ability has. So that's one kind of indication that you can use to tell whether or not an item is probably pre-stack. It's not 100% because there are some things we scale to 100% that aren't pre-stack, that just have a different kind of scaling to them. But that's the one kind of thing right now. I think it's an interesting question as to whether we should have some sort of badge or flag or something on the equipment card that shows whether or not the ability it buffs is being buffed pre-stack, because obviously those are the cards and the equipment that's more desirable because they're going to scale better for that champion, again, depending on how many stacks you can get for that champion. But yeah, it's an interesting question for whether there should be
An
like
indicator?
an indicator and what that would look like.
I think people would like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Steve Buscemi and Gary Busey. How about no?
Guys.
How rude.
Wait, which one of those guys? No, who's the guy that played like Iago? The voice of it.
It's not either of them.
No, it was the guy from Hollywood Squares.
Is that where he's from?
Well, that's where I remember him. There's like a clip of him, like he's like the last. Does anyone know what
Gilbert
Godfrey? That's
yeah.
the one. There's a Hollywood Squares. He's dead. What?
Aw.
He died?
Aw.
Oh. Hollywood Squares, you have to make 3 in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a famous, well, not a famous clip. There's a clip on YouTube from like, I don't know, 20
it's more
years
famous
ago,
than your giveaway.
where, yeah, it is actually. It's got more views than my giveaways ever have. Where like he's the last square that they need to get. And the way Hollywood Squares works is they ask the celebrity a question, and the celebrity says like true or false or whatever, and then the contestant has to guess they give an answer, and the contestant has to guess whether it's true or false. And he's like the last square, and the guy, he gets like 15 questions in a row where the people can't get it right, and he just starts yelling at them like, "You fool!" every time they get it wrong. So good. Anyway, yes, if you're on YouTube and you want to watch a funny clip, search for "You Fool," Gilbert Godfrey. Anyway, okay. Yeah, that was my one man reenactment of the Hollywood Squares pitch. That's as close as you guys are ever going to get to me doing a one man reenactment.
Don't give
something.
no spoilers. Come on.
Well, unless you stop asking questions.
All
There are
right.
30 questions, so I mean.
Next question.
Yeah.
This one is from Batty Giraffe. Can we have a way to sort champions?
Baby giraffe.
It's Batty.
Baby giraffe.
Can we have a way to sort champions that can provide a formation positional things like when we did the Valentine one and the others were blocked out? Can
We have a
you
way to sort champions that can provide a positional formation thing?
formation positional things?
So basically, maybe filter champions that have positional formation things. That is if that's the question, then that is a very interesting question because that's a really good idea. Waterdeep squares for Extra Life.
Oh no.
That's a really good idea. Might have to do that. Can we have a way to sort champions that provide, yeah. So basically, see champions that have a positional formation ability is, I think, what they're looking for. And I would like to say yes to this, but I have been informed in the course of trying to design interesting champion mechanics that some of these things are hard to do.
You don't say.
Yeah. Now, I don't think it was for positional formation things. It was for things that buffed based off of ability scores, where we ran into, it's for a champion that's coming up, but we changed it
because
it
you
was
can't
too
have
complicated. But yes, there's some sort
It
of...
wasn't too complicated. It does not work the way you think it does.
Yes, there's some sort of tagging stuff on sort of how champion abilities work or what champion abilities do that we don't really... It requires manual tagging of each ability to basically say, this is indeed a positional formation ability, because there's things that are implemented in a way that makes them look like that, but they aren't. And it just, yeah, it causes a lot of headaches. There's a fair number of, whenever we do a champion who does like blacklist or who does abilities that interact with positional formation abilities, we inevitably have to do blacklists for like, no, this actually isn't a positional formation ability, or no, this actually shouldn't work with that. And so I think that this would probably be more challenging than one would think it would be.
And less challenging than it deserves to be.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate. Like it kind of annoys me a bit that it is challenging to do, because like obviously the core sort of strategy mechanic of our game is this formation mechanic, and you'd think that we should be able to detect when something is a valid positional formation ability as opposed to something else. Anyway, that has been my little rant. But yeah, I think this would be harder than we would like it to be to implement something like that, unfortunately.
Done?
Yes,
All right.
I'm done my rant.
Cool. Uh-oh. Next question starts with, it's from the Lurking Writer, and it starts with, Dupuis said.
Uh-oh. What did Dupuis say on that stream? I was in a meeting.
Dupuis said...
I was doing launch watch for the giveaway, and then I was not watching the stream.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it was Pixelated Dupuis that said, because Sean didn't know how to use the zoom on the camera.
Oh.
Give him a hard time for that.
I think you just did.
Dupuis said that some of the things we would be talking about during the roadmap stream would be new even to the team.
Oh my.
Uh-oh. You don't even know that these are coming?
I think I probably do.
Justin, was it a surprise to learn that you and Dupuis would be the only people running C&E over the 2-week holiday period at the end of the year?
It was not a surprise to hear that I would be working with Dupuis on that. I think it will be a surprise to the developers that we pull in for launch watches during that time. But yeah, the fun thing. So we
Excuse me.
we close we close our office for 2 weeks, kind of between Christmas and New Year, or around those 2 weeks there.
Yep.
And just to give everyone a break as a thanks for like the long hard work of the year. But of course, our content pipeline does not slow down during that time. So there is almost always at least one, if not two releases. Last year we actually had, it was really annoying because the first day of the year in 2025 was a Wednesday. And so we had an event launch on New Year's Day, which was super annoying. And I'm sure at least some of us in that in that launch watch were quite hungover. But yeah, I think we will. I think we'll probably. It'll be me and Dupuis, and there might be one or two other people just to help us do double checks, just for an hour or two around when.
Or two.
When well, it depends.
Depends how badly it goes.
Depends if the servers just decide to give up the goat. What's the etymology of that? Give up the goat. Anyway, yeah.
Give up the ghost. Is give up the goat?
Is it give up the ghost?
I don't think give up the goat is like, that
Maybe
might
I've
be
just
like a
been-
Monty Hall problem.
That might be. Oh yeah, that's probably a combination of those two things.
Replace the hamster with the goat. Give up the goat is not a widely recognized English idiom. Rather, it's a mishearing of the phrase give up the ghost. There you go.
Well, you know what? I don't want to give up my ghost.
You don't even have a goat.
Well, I know where there are goats. There's goats at the little petting zoo down the road from me.
Sure, and they're on the roof of that building in Coombs, but
not as many as you'd think there would be. Anyway.
they promise goats on the roof, and they don't really deliver.
The clue says Jingles keys. Focus! Let us move on to the next question.
Next question. This one is from Batty Giraffe. Why do some of my champions turn green only one champ, why do some of my champions turn green only? One champ, but in the same spot in all 4 adventures.
I think we're saying, why do some of my champions turn green? Only one champ, but in the same spot in all 4 adventures.
See, I think if there's a slot and you put your champion in it and it turns green, it means that some champion with some ability left a filter behind
something behind
on that graphic holding slot, because the way that those slots work is when you move a champion into them, the graphic gets placed inside of that parent, and the filter would be on the parent. And so if someone left a green tint filter on that parent, that would cause that to happen.
Yeah.
So somebody's greening something and not ungreening it.
So keep your parents away from green tint filters, I think is that's
the lesson?
That's probably something that's probably what was happening there. Somebody gave up the green ghost.
The green goat.
Green goat. Let us go to the next question.
Yes. Next question. This is from Plum Cross. Can Breaker be added to the list of roles on the Forge search feature?
Yeah, probably. Is that not? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we can
do that. Seems like an oversight.
That seems, I think we added the Breaker role and the Hunter and Control roles after we implemented the Forge search, so I'm not surprised that wasn't there.
All right. Next question. This is from DeathCloud420. The new skins are great. Thank you. Can we see all of the Saturday Morning Squad with older versions of themselves for skins to obtain later?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think we've done some of the heroic skins, right? And so I think we've done some of them. And usually when we sort of start a set like that, we usually finish them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did. At the same time, I don't know for sure. I don't do the design for what skins we do. We let our artists decide what would look cool.
Later we can do the even older ones, so like with a walker and a cane.
Yeah. Grandma Diana. I'm sure people will love that one. They're still talking about goats and ghosts in chat, so yeah.
Space goat. Next question. This one is from Demon Grrr. Puent has the Roundup ultimate, so shouldn't he... Move your cursor, Justin. I can't read that.
Sorry, I was highlighting stuff.
Have the control role.
So yeah, for the extra roles like Control, Breaker, Hunter, etc., we kind of have an internal rule set where we do not put the role on them if the only place that they do their action is their ultimate, especially for Control. There are a lot of ultimates that have a control factor. Like, Nayeli has a stun on her ultimate. Should Nayeli be considered a control champion? I don't think so. Should we maybe have some way to search for champions that have a stun on their ultimate? Maybe that would be something that would be useful. I mean, there's just so many champions that kind of have a specific mechanic on their ultimate only, and you can only use the ultimate, every 60 to 300 seconds kind of thing. So I don't think it makes a lot of sense to have that for Control and for Breaker and not as much so Hunter, but Control definitely has a ton of champions who have it just on their ultimate.
All right. Next question. We probably have time for one or two more questions. At least one.
I've only highlighted one more, so.
All right. This one is from Cassius335, asking, follow-up to DeathCloud's question. Can we get kid skins for non-Bobby Saturday Morning Squad champions, possibly paired with feats that say, while online, X?
I'm not sure what the feats is referring to, but kid skins for the non-Bobby Saturday Morning Squad, so like a kid Strongheart or something skin. Yeah, that might be interesting. I will pass this suggestion along to the Skin crew and see if there's any ideas or thoughts there.
Okay.
Kid DM. Oh yeah, I guess DM's the big one.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's all the time we have for today.
Okie dokie. Where's my script? Here it is. Here. I don't remember how to do this. If we didn't get to your question, don't fret. You'll have another opportunity. We will be live again next. Is that true? We'll be live again next week. Yes, we'll be live again next week. Before we sign off, though, we'd like to thank our tireless mod, Sean, and our tireless bot, Question Bot.
And of course, thanks to all of you for hanging out, watching the stream, asking such great questions, for enjoying the game. Because without you, no one here would get to do what we do.
And we like what we do.
Well, that's true. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Except for this part where you tell a joke after the stream.
It's the highlight of your week, Justin.
Like this part.
All right, Justin. How do you measure the quality of a dad joke?
I don't know.
You use a seismograph. See, that was pretty good.